This week on The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I said, no, he wasn't. Seriously? They said they brought up John's name and said he was bad yelling at me because you stormed off.
Yo, what is up, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 14, Episode 9. Let's get right into this. You guys, it has been a week since the shove and drink thrown heard around the world between Danielle and Jennifer, so I was looking forward to this episode. So, the first scene is Teresa cleaning up after the Tulum party. She's gossiping with her daughter as usual, but Teresa is still a little shocked about the physical altercation that just happened in her house. It's crazy because she turned around and literally the second that it happened, so she completely missed it, but she is friends with both of them, so she's gonna have to see how she's going to be handling this. Next up, we see Marge and Joe. Margaret is very worried about the results that they are waiting for Joe. The idea of him having cancer is scary, so she's being super close to him and really loving on to him. Then we see Danielle. She's with Nate, and she's going to be having a launch party because her brand Bougie Kids, which she has definitely shoved down our throats a lot, has made some changes in the past year. So she's going to have a big party for this kind of rebrand. Now she talks about what happened. She's still in shock. She can't believe how Jennifer turned on her, first bad-mouthing her and then putting her hands on her. Unbelievable. Danielle says that she was definitely in defense mode. Danielle thinks that Jennifer might be mad that. So when Danielle refused to invite Laura to that charity, remember Laura was that backstabber that used to be friends with Margaret and then started spreading all those rumors? So Danielle suspects that maybe Jennifer realized that she couldn't use Danielle to do her dirty work, and maybe that's why she was done with her. She's also talking about her dad. She misses him, so Nate says that he will try to talk to her father and try to mend things. See, maybe he'll go to the party because they don't want him to be missing any more important events. Next scene is Dolores and Paulie. They're talking about Dolores now working with Paulie pretty soon. She's going to be having an official office. She says that if she were working right now, she would have called out the day. She would have called out because the night before was crazy. It got so ugly and it was a disaster. Then Rachel Fuda FaceTimes Solo. Rachel calls her. She was actually on her way to help some kids with arthritis. That's something that she's really passionate about. Now, Rachel already knew about the fight because it was all over the social media accounts the next day, which, knowing what we know now, Aydin probably told these accounts, but Rachel is shocked, and it was really nice then to see Rachel help these kids. She sat and painted with them, and she's really shedding a light into the cause. So then it is time for a wedding. Joe is going to be officiating Melissa's cousin's wedding. They say the groom and groom say that they chose Joe because Joe radiates love and they really do love him. Marge and Dolores were the only ones of the cast who came, but it was a lot of people. Not for nothing, Joe did an amazing job giving his speech and pronouncing them married. Since, Joe no longer has an extended family of his own, Melissa's family has really embraced him. So it was nice to see that. Alright, moving on, Jennifer Aydin has a meeting in her wonderful house with Teresa and Jen Fessler. Jennifer says that she is not fine, which I think is funny because Jen's quacky fans were bragging that the drink didn't faze her. Clearly it did. She demonstrates how it happened because Teresa still says that she doesn't know how it happened. But I guess Danielle didn't hit enough sense into her because Jennifer continues to spew these claims of Danielle. The charity, the extensions, same BS. Danielle is very selfish, this and that. She says that it was the first red flag that she saw of Danielle was when she didn't want to invite Laura to the charity. I was just thinking, but why would Danielle want to invite Laura? Like, how is that a red flag, you weirdo? So then Teresa says that she feels like she is in the middle, and she will be going to Danielle's party. Which Jennifer got petty, and she was not happy that Teresa was going to go to the party. And she even says to Teresa, well, if someone would have hit you in the side of the head, I would not be okay with them. But Teresa says, Danielle didn't do anything to me, and she's right. Also, Jen Fessler, for some reason, seems to really be riding Jennifer's coattails, and they say, they love each other now. In the next scene, Margaret Josephs gets a PR box, Jackie's book. This damn book that they keep talking about. But at this point, Marge's not even happy to get the book. She's very upset at Jackie, especially for trying to ruin her friendships with others, like with Dolores. Also, Margaret is getting a new closet. She's excited about that. But this doctor and the test results, it's really worrying her. So she goes ahead and calls the doctor's office. And they say that the PSA was abnormal. So they want Joe to go and get an MRI. It's scary. Joe is putting up a brave face, but Marge got very emotional, and I do feel really bad for them. I hope that everything will be okay. Then it is time for Danielle's party. They went all out. It was like a Katy Perry, pop, pink, cotton candy type of thing. It looked good considering that, it's for kids. Her father and mother came, which I thought was really nice, and they were there. They supported her. Danielle's kids loved it. Everyone was having fun. Also, this chick, Tiffany, who is very pretty, is showing up everywhere. I wish we could see a little bit more of her. So then, there was a time where Jen Fessler, Rachel, Tiffany, and some of the others were listening to Danielle explain more about the fight with Jen. So Danielle said that the worst thing Jen could have done was to accuse her of stealing from a charity. How dare Jennifer? Danielle says that she actually prays to God that he has mercy on Jennifer Aydin in the karma that's about to come towards her. Then Jen Fessler says, well, Danielle, she didn't sleep with your husband. Danielle says, yeah, but she pushed me. Jen Fessler says, well, she has sort of a different story. She says that you were in her face, so she felt threatened, so she pushed you out of the way and then got punched. Danielle says, well, first of all, she didn't get punched because I had a drink in my hand. Trust me, she would have known if I punched her. But Jen Fessler keeps saying, well, you had a part in it as well. And Danielle is like, well, it sounds like you're defending her. And Jen Fessler says, yeah, she's my friend. Danielle says, listen, Jen, there is no good in Jennifer Aydin. Then, you guys, Teresa Giudice walks on in with Gia, and Rachel Fuda runs for her life. She didn't want to see Teresa. She didn't want to be nowhere near her. Teresa says to Danielle that she should probably talk to Jennifer Aydin pretty soon. Danielle says she says to Teresa, Teresa, I can't. She said I stole from the charity. That's dark. She is an evil person. Teresa says, no, she's not evil. Margaret is evil. And then Margaret walks right on in as she's saying that. And so does Melissa. They, just got there. They offered their support to Danielle because that's the first time they had seen her since the fight. Danielle then gathers everyone around and she does a countdown. And then they all just party and all the kids are having fun with all the games and little stations that she had set up, partying and eating. Melissa says hi to Rachel. And then Rachel tells her that Jen Fessler was defending Jennifer Aydin. And that's crazy to her. So, Jen Fessler is then talking to Teresa and Gia. She says, Danielle's mad at me for defending Jen. Then she says, everyone in this group gets angry at each other, so it's not that big of a deal. But then, you guys, Gia asks Jen Fessler, can I ask you something? Did John Fuda try to reference me or try to compare me to his age when he was arrested? And Jen Fessler says, no, not at all. He did not talk about you in any way. He was just trying to put into perspective that Teresa got mad at Jackie for that Coke analogy, and John was younger than Gia was at that point in time. So he was trying to explain how young he was. And Dolores was there too, and she kind of also explained it. So they cleared it up, but Gia says that he should just keep her out of his analogies. And as much as I don't like Gia being in these adult conversations, I do agree that John's analogy was a little unnecessary. So then Jen Fessler goes up to Melissa, Rachel, and Margaret and says, they were like, what were you talking about up there? And Jen Fessler says, oh, I just explained to Gia and Teresa that John Fuda would never discuss Gia. So Melissa says, why are you talking about John Fuda? And then Rachel gets very mad, walks away, she storms out and says, you're obsessed with me. Jen Fessler was shocked. She was like, what the F? But Rachel is saying, don't get involved. And even Margaret was saying, don't campaign for them. Jen Fessler's like, I wasn't. She asked me. She brought it up. I was just clarifying. She was actually defending John. And Melissa says, that's a child. Why are you even talking to a child? Melissa is right. This is the problem when the kids are sitting at the grown-up table. But in this case, they were not understanding Jen Fessler. Gia brought it up, and I think it made sense why she brought it up, and Jen clarified it. So, yeah, it was not Jen Fessler who brought it up, but Rachel was not having it. And then there was a point when she rejoined the little circle, and Jen is trying to explain it again. But then at this point, Jen Fessler is a little bit like fed up, and so she's kind of raising her voice. And Rachel says, "Why are you screaming at me?" And Jen Fessler says, "Because you stormed out the first time." And so Rachel gets her little girl and leaves the party. And that was the end of the episode. So a few things. First of all, I'm surprised. Like, I remember when this whole fight happened, all the things on social media were talking about uh, production had been suspended for about a week, and it didn't seem like that. It didn't play out that way now that we're seeing the episode. With this Rachel and Jen Fessler thing, I think that Rachel should have been quiet and listened to Jen Fessler to understand what all of them should have been quiet, Melissa included. So this time, I do think Rachel was in the wrong, and it looks like next week, Jennifer will come face to face to Danielle, and then Jennifer and Dolores will get into it. So it'll be interesting. Again, pretty good season. I've been enjoying all 9 episodes. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. What were your thoughts about the ladies and everything that happened? Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.